Do you think you know pretty much everything about diabetes because you've had it for years? What if those seemingly random skin issues are actually silent alarms from your body? In the United States, millions of people with diabetes are unaware of the more obscure signs. Today, we're going through 10 weird skin signs of diabetes that you've likely never heard of. These aren't your typical dry skin or slow-healing sores. These are the strange and less talked about clues that could signal that your blood sugar management needs a serious second look. Paying attention to all of these could be critical for your long-term health. 1. Diabetic blisters. Let's start with something quite alarming. Diabetic blisters, known medically as Aanthosis Negricans. Imagine waking up to large burn-like blisters on your feet, legs, or hands without any memory of an injury. This is a reality for some people with long-standing diabetes, particularly those with nerve damage. These blisters appear suddenly, are often painless, and are filled with a clear, sterile fluid. The surrounding skin usually looks healthy. The exact cause isn't fully understood but is linked to blood sugar fluctuations and microvascular complications. One theory suggests high blood glucose weakens skin layers, making them prone to separating from minor, unnoticed pressure. This condition affects about 0.5% of people with diabetes, so it's uncommon but a very clear sign. Fortunately, the blisters typically heal on their own in 2 to 5 weeks, often without scarring. The key is to prevent infection. If one appears, keep it clean and covered with a sterile dressing. Do not puncture it. If it breaks, clean the area with soap and water and apply an antibiotic ointment. Their appearance is a strong visual cue that your diabetes management may need reevaluation with your doctor. 2. Necrobiosis Lipoitica. This next condition, Necrobiosis Lipoitica, or NL, is a rare but very specific marker for diabetes. It begins as small reddish-brown bumps on the shins that slowly expand into larger plaques. Over time, the center of the plaque thins and develops a shiny, waxy, yellowish appearance, while the border remains reddish-brown. Unlike the painless blisters we just discussed, NL can be painful and itchy. A major concern is ulceration. The thinned, fragile skin can easily break open after a minor injury, leading to slow-healing ulcers prone to infection. The cause is tied to inflammatory changes in the skin's collagen and blood vessels, likely triggered by chronic high blood sugar. While only about 0.3% of people with diabetes develop NL, over 80% of those with NL have diabetes, making the connection very strong. Management is challenging and focuses on tight blood sugar control to prevent progression. For the lesions, doctors may prescribe corticosteroids to reduce inflammation. Does this feel familiar? You've eaten healthy all day, but your evening blood sugar is still high. Let's break down why. It's a persistent condition that serves as a serious reminder of the deep inflammatory changes unmanaged diabetes can cause. 3. Eruptivexanthomattosis. Have you ever noticed firm, pea-like yellow bumps erupting on your skin? This could be eruptivexanthomattosis, a direct result of extremely high triglycerides in your blood linked to uncontrolled diabetes. When your body can't use glucose due to insufficient insulin, it rapidly breaks down fat, flooding the bloodstream with triglycerides. When these fat levels become critically high, they get deposited in the skin, forming small yellow bumps called xanthomas. They most commonly appear on the backs of the arms and legs, the buttocks, and around joints. The bumps often have a reddish halo and can be tender and itchy. The term eruptive is used because they can appear very suddenly. This condition is an urgent warning sign. It means your diabetes is severely out of control, and high triglycerides put you at a significant risk for pancreatitis, a painful and life-threatening condition. The good news is that this sign is reversible. With strict control of blood glucose and medications to lower triglycerides, these bumps typically disappear over several weeks. It's a clear example of your skin providing a window into your metabolic health, signaling an immediate need to see your doctor. 4. Digital sclerosis. Many people with diabetes know about nerve damage in the feet, but fewer are aware of digital sclerosis affecting the hands. Sclerosis means hardening. In this condition, the skin on the fingers and sometimes toes becomes thick, tight, and waxy. It can become so stiff that you may find it difficult to fully straighten your fingers. A classic test is the prayer sign, where you press your palms together. If you can't make the surfaces of your fingers touch, it may indicate digital sclerosis. This condition affects up to 30% of people with type 1 diabetes and is caused by the buildup of proteins like collagen in the skin. This is due to glycation, a process where excess sugar molecules attach to proteins, making them stiff. It's the same process that contributes to other long-term complications. While it starts on the fingers, the thickening can spread. The condition isn't painful, but the loss of flexibility can impact daily activities. For those who want to see the clinical data I'm referencing on glycation's effects, I've put the link to a helpful study in the description below. The most important action is tight blood glucose control to prevent it from worsening. 5. Aanthosis Negricans. You have likely heard that dark, velvety patches of skin in body folds are a sign of insulin resistance. This is Aanthosis Negricans. For someone with diagnosed diabetes, the appearance or darkening of these patches is an ongoing report card of your body's struggle with insulin. The patches often appear on the neck, armpits, or groin, but can also show up on elbows and knees. The skin doesn't just darken, it thickens. This is caused by high levels of insulin in the blood, known as hyperinsulinemia. When your body is resistant to insulin, your pancreas works overtime producing more of it. This excess insulin can stimulate skin cells to grow abnormally. For a person with long-term diabetes, worsening Aanthosis Negricans can indicate that your current treatment plan is becoming less effective. It is not caused by dirt and should not be scrubbed. It is extremely common, affecting a large percentage of people with obesity-related diabetes. While some creams can help the skin's appearance, the only real treatment is addressing the root cause, insulin resistance. Improving diet, losing weight, and increasing physical activity can lower insulin levels and cause these patches to fade. 6. Diabetic dermopathy, shin spots. This is perhaps the most common skin condition in people with diabetes, affecting up to 55% of them. Yet many dismiss diabetic dermopathy, or shin spots, as simple age spots or old bruises. They appear as light brown, scaly patches on the front of the lower legs. They are typically round or oval and can be slightly indented. Unlike bruises that fade, these spots persist. They don't hurt or itch. They are thought to be caused by damage to the small blood vessels that supply the skin, a form of microangiopathy. Long-term high blood sugar damages these tiny vessels. The presence of these shin spots is strongly correlated with other, more serious diabetic complications, like neuropathy, retinopathy, and nephropathy. You've probably heard you should just accept these age-related changes. For many with diabetes, this is a mistake. I'll explain the science of why these spots matter right after this. So while the spots themselves are harmless, their appearance is a warning light. They are a visible sign of underlying blood vessel damage that could be happening in your eyes, kidneys, and nerves, making them a powerful motivator to tighten your blood sugar control. 7. Scaradma Diabeticorum. This rare condition is much more dramatic than the digital sclerosis discussed earlier. Scaradma Diabeticorum involves a widespread, woody hardening and thickening of the skin, primarily on the upper back, neck, and shoulders. The skin becomes so tight and board-like that it can be difficult to pinch a fold of skin. It's typically symmetrical and can be quite uncomfortable, restricting the movement of the neck and shoulders. In severe cases, it can even impact breathing if the skin on the chest wall becomes too tight. This condition is almost exclusively seen in people with long-standing, poorly controlled type 2 diabetes. The cause is believed to involve the abnormal deposition of collagen in the skin, triggered by chronic high blood sugar. Because it can be subtle in its early stages, it may be underdiagnosed. I know there's a lot of debate online about what good blood sugar control even means. We're going to cut through the noise and look at what the clinical data says about preventing these kinds of complications. Unfortunately, Scaradma Diabeticorum is notoriously difficult to treat. The most important step is achieving excellent glycemic control to hopefully halt its progression. 8. Disseminated granuloma annulare. Granuloma annulare causes raised, reddish, or skin-colored bumps that form in ring patterns. While the localized form is common in the general population, people with diabetes are more likely to develop a widespread or disseminated form. In this version, the bumps are far more numerous and can appear over large areas of the trunk, arms, and legs. The exact link to diabetes is still being studied, but it's believed that the chronic inflammatory state associated with diabetes might be a trigger. The condition is not contagious and usually isn't painful or itchy, but it can be a significant cosmetic concern. For those with a known diabetes diagnosis, it can be another indicator of systemic inflammation. Of course, everyone's journey with managing inflammation is different. I'd be very interested to hear what's worked for you. Share your single best tip for reducing inflammation in the comments below. It could really help someone else reading this. Treatment can be challenging and may involve topical steroids or other medications. However, for a person with diabetes, the primary focus should be on blood sugar control to help reduce the body's overall inflammatory environment. 9. Acquired ichthyiosis. Ichthyiosis is a term for skin disorders characterized by dry, thick, scaly skin resembling fish scales. While some forms are inherited, acquired ichthyiosis can develop later in life due to an underlying medical condition like diabetes. In this case, the skin on the lower legs becomes extremely dry, rough, and flaky with fine white scales. It can be very itchy, and the dryness can lead to painful cracks and fissures, increasing the risk of skin infections. The development of acquired ichthyiosis in diabetics is often linked to autonomic neuropathy, damage to the nerves that control sweat gland activity. When these nerves don't work properly, the skin loses its ability to stay moisturized. Poor circulation also contributes by depriving the skin of needed oxygen and nutrients. This is more than just typical dry skin. Understanding the link to neuropathy is key. But this next tip on lychen planus is what makes the biggest immediate difference for preventing serious complications. Management requires controlling blood sugar to prevent further nerve damage and using an intensive moisturizing routine with creams containing ingredients like urea or lactic acid. 10. Lychen planus. Lychen planus is an inflammatory condition that appears as purplish, flat-topped bumps that are often very itchy. It's considered an autoimmune condition where the body's immune system mistakenly attacks its own skin cells. Studies have shown that people with diabetes have a significantly higher prevalence of lychen planus. The link is thought to be related to the chronic inflammation and immune system dysregulation common in diabetes. High blood sugar can promote an altered immune response that may trigger the condition. One of the most significant aspects is its tendency to affect the mouth, called oral lychen planus. This can cause painful sores and white, lacy patches inside the cheeks and on the tongue, which can make eating difficult. Because oral lychen planus can, in rare cases, increase the risk of oral cancer, it's very important that these lesions are monitored by a doctor or dentist. Treatment often involves topical corticosteroids. For a person with diabetes, discovering they have lychen planus should be another strong motivator to work with their healthcare team to optimize blood sugar control and calm systemic inflammation. If you enjoyed this video, you will probably also like this one. Please subscribe to this channel and let us know in the comments your thoughts. Thanks for watching.